We're back with another installment of Rice Talk. It's your host, Cam. We have
Rice.
back with us in the building. How you feeling?
Feeling good, feeling great.
I love it.
No,
If you love it, I like it. You like
for
it, I love
sure.
it. The last episode that we did, we were touching on like more pizza, food, stuff like that. This
Hmm.
episode, I got you here because I want a little nostalgic vibes today. Little nostalgic vibes today.
Yeah,
A
we
little,
get in the spirit of things, holiday time too. So you gotta touch on nostalgia.
and in the spirit of the holidays, when it's the holidays, you're gonna throw in that holiday movie, and
Hmm.
what's a holiday without those old black '90s movies, like those. There's really a lot. I guess it
The
depends
Black
on
90s movies, the sitcoms,
the Dead Dogs, the Fresh Prince of Bel Airs, the
the
Martins.
Martins.
The man, I get it. Just depends on what direction you want to go in. Like you got the brother, like it's you got a lot. You got a lot, but mainly some of the ones that I like were. Life was good. It actually was one of the last ones.
Like, yeah, 1990, last 90s movie.
Yep, yep. It was the last one.
Heavy hitter
The
on the
stuff on
very
Jeopardy
tail
was pretty
end.
good. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Martin.
They had Martin, Eddie Murphy,
That's crazy,
they
ain't it?
had Bernie Mac in the movie. Joanna Man, that actor.
Who is that?
I don't know his name. It's like his real name like Miguel something.
I know what you mean.
But
You
that's
said
the
for a minute he was in a few movies,
he
and I
was in a
thought
few
his
little
name
movies back then.
Miguel something.
Miguel something. I can't remember his last name.
What good on Miguel? Shout out Miguel.
Who else was in that movie?
Um, they have.
Wasn't Sanaa Lathan in that movie too? Like in the very early part.
Was she like the what?
Martin,
Like a love
Martin was
interest?
trying to love
Mhm.
Martin love interest,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah. She was a love interest
And
before
then
they
Eddie
broke.
Murphy came out and just cock blocking,
Mhm.
and that's how they ended up getting life.
That sounded about right.
But no, he went to the bathroom and he came in and
Hmm.
yeah, that's how it happened.
Yeah. You had Above the Rim.
Which I never seen Above the Rim. I
Above
ain't
the
never seen that
Rim,
one. I know it's a basketball movie though, ain't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
but Tupac's acting performance, and knowing that that's just one of his last few, or one of his only few acting, it's like, dang, I would have loved to seen like more of this, like this type of, not even necessarily the role, because it was a typical like '90s hood movie starring basketball, but inner city.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, the way he delivered it was very was like real was good for his time. It kind of held up. Dwayne Martin was in it too from it's like Dwayne Martin, TG Campbell. What were they? Or I think they're married.
Dwayne Martin.
Yeah, Dwayne. If I showed him to you, you would
I
know.
probably know who he is.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy because if I showed you, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's kind of like a dude. This kind of like the Miguel dude. You just really don't see him
You don't
much.
really, yeah, you only seen him back then,
Yeah, it's
not
like
in today's films.
you really know more of the Damon Wayans than the Dwayne Martins and like the Flicks. What's the names?
Flex Alexander.
Because he's like that level. Like Dwayne Martin is like, if you saw him, you'd be like, oh yeah, bet.
Oh yeah, that's such and such.
Literally. Because they had a little run. It's just they got their bread and dip.
Yeah, because what was his TV show Flex? He had a little TV show with
Uh-huh.
yeah, one on one.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Because I'm pretty sure Dwayne had one. Because
Mm,
from something else besides the building, because they gave him like a little early 2000 sitcom or something. He had a
it
little
probably
part.
like flop.
Yeah.
We don't. I don't know.
Hey, shout out Flex. He was in that You're Always on My Mind SWV video. Yeah. It
And he
was.
had his little the Michael Jackson movie that we don't need to
Oh,
speak
you there
of.
for that? Yeah, you funny. No, it was funny. Like it was.
Man, they really put the man in whiteface,
Yeah.
threw a wig on him.
He agreed on it.
But the reason is because he used to do Michael Jackson impressions on Def Comedy Jam,
Mhm.
and so I guess that's why they gave him the movie.
Nah, yo, it was definitely some people in the '90s that didn't. So, there definitely some people in the '90s that like if you rewatch some of these movies, they definitely don't hold up. It's straight nostalgia.
Like
Like,
what?
mm,
What would you say? Um,
it's a few, but I don't wanna like. upset anybody.
Man, if they get upset, they get upset.
Let me think. All right, I'll name the ones that I think do hold up and that I've watched as an adult, like Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, that's gonna always hold up.
Um, Set It Off's cool.
Set it off. Menace to Society.
Menace to Society. It's a very deep movie. Dead Presidents. I don't know. Robbing a bank and just failing is crazy. Like, I don't know. You thought it was gonna be a better story, like as far as like a more up the story, but it's like it really was like it's crazy. Like most '90s movies don't end like that. Or I guess Boys in the Hood did. Well, not even in it with like I guess a positive note.
Yeah, and
Except
it was kind of negative and positive too, because Trey ended up going to school,
yeah,
but all his friends were dead pretty
pretty
much.
much. Yeah,
Like
that's
Ricky
crazy.
died, and Doughboy got killed 2 weeks later.
You know,
But him
hey, wasn't
and
that crazy when you saw it in the credits? It's like Doughboy died.
killed,
And
like, yeah, he buried, like, dang.
I was like, dang, I was like, dang, he was real. And I was like, yeah, I know they got him up
So they
on.
buried Ricky, and then 2 weeks later he get killed.
Yeah, that's the life.
That's that life though.
The other
L.A.
movies, I would probably say, okay,
So what about Don't Be a Menace? The parody.
I would say for a parody movie that was actually pretty good. That's why I really don't. No, is Malibu's Most Wanted 03 or was it?
That's like 2000s. That's like 2003.
Scary Movie, I believe, was 99.
First one.
Scary Movie, low key, does not hold up like that. It's cool, but I can't really say it holds
You
up
watch it as an adult,
because it's like unless you've seen Scream, like don't be a
all the
Menace
scary movies and
was
stuff.
still good if you didn't see Menace to Society. It was just still funny.
It is funny,
But Scary Movie,
silly.
if you didn't see Scream, it was kind of like it was some references that you just really didn't get, and like I don't know, it was just like it was like a lot of such jokes, but it was kind of like all right, like
That's the whole point of this
yeah,
movie. It's just a lot of the gross out
yeah.
human fart jokes and stuff.
Now how dang that's the early 2000s. I'm trying to think
Yeah.
of more '90s, but most of the '90s movies that I've seen actually were pretty decent. But like I said, Scary Movie is one. Um, I'm probably
I
gonna go
think
with
another good 90 movie.
New Jack City held up. Juice held up.
Yeah,
Like Juice is still a good movie. Have you
still
ever
a good
seen
movie.
Is it Poetic Justice?
Oh,
No.
what it? Nah, I ain't never seen that one.
Yeah.
And then I seen like bits and pieces of Juice.
Mm-hmm.
I know The Wood probably holds. I ain't never seen The Wood,
Mm-hmm.
but I know that's another one that holds up pretty good.
Because The Wood is like a movie they didn't necessarily write. Like they wrote it like a lot deeper. Like it was a lot of character building more so than just like scenes. Because some movies are just damn near scenes and then it's over. It's good, but like you didn't really learn much. Like The
Yeah,
Wood is one of the movies. It's like after it's really over, you kind of feel like you're like kind of I guess.
because it's like they reminiscing the whole time in the movie. I guess.
It was a few movies like that, but I'm just drawing blanks right now. Wasn't Eddie Murphy in like a vampire movie?
Oh, Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Was that 80s or 90s?
Gosh, is that 80s? I think it was like 88. I don't know what 90s movies that I'm just really
Okay,
drawing.
well, like we watch these movies, we never know.
Low key, Baby
That
Boy,
was like 2001 though.
Lee. They made it in '90s. Look, Baby Boy. I ain't gonna lie, it ain't really all that.
Cause we done seen it so many times. Like,
Well, it's like you go back and be like,
um,
Jody really was bullshit. Like,
a bum.
yeah, it was like
It's a bum with an
he
Oedipus
he really
complex
got a movie though. Like if you, it's like we really just followed the damn life
of a bum.
of a bum for real. Like when I look back, what value did well? I guess I don't know. I guess I learned what
They
happened.
learned to you just learn to not be like him
Yeah,
and don't get involved with no woman like Yvette.
yeah,
Basically,
yeah. But okay, if you look at Yvette, oh no,
I'm
never
saying
mind.
she was
She was
irresponsible
talking to
too.
Buddy the whole
Talking to
time.
Rodney,
She was talking
the
about the
Crip
whole time.
dude,
Yeah,
had a kid all over the dude house with all the.
yeah,
She was irresponsible.
yeah. Oh no, yeah. That apartment was hella shallow to be doing all that too. Like that was a very small apartment
Small apartment there and there.
to having that many people in your apartment and like you. I don't know. That would scare the hell out of me because that's just like walking in your room and it's just like people in your room. Because like
You know what I'm saying? Like, who was all these folks?
it looked like it was a one bedroom, one bath.
One
Like
bed had about 10 dudes up in there.
when they walked in the scene, it was like dudes in the living room. That living room was like a 6 by 6. I don't like that living room was
Too
crazy.
small.
Yeah, like it looked like she stayed in a motel, like one of those old motels that they like turned
Like, for
into.
real.
Because I was like, is this it? Well, I'm finna have all these with bikes. He was getting
They had
around.
the kid. They had the yeah. He was getting around on that bike
You got to give Jody points for getting around.
and held his own at the end.
Yeah. Even when he thought he got shot, blew me.
Yeah, that was all. That was unnecessary though.
Yeah,
No,
it
he
blew
was
me.
like he had a wild imagination. A lot of them scenes was like his imagination.
You remember light skin yo?
Who?
The dude bald, like he wasn't bald, but he was like um he had like a skin his best friend
Oh,
basically.
P in the
Yeah.
movie. That's what's his name, brother too.
Uh
Cuba Gooding Jr. brother.
yeah. Something Gooden.
Something good.
Lawrence Gooden.
Something like that.
Shit like that. Shout out, buddy though.
Yeah, P was a real one in the movie. P had his back to get you a friend like P.
Omar Gooden. That's what it is.
Yeah, yep, yep,
It's another Omar I'm thinking of from the 90s. What is Mike?
Epps. Omar Epps.
Omar Epps.
I'm saying people say I used to look like him in high school.
I'm trying to
It's like
blank. What did I know who he is, but I'm trying to think what movies.
he was in Juice. He was Buddy and Juice.
Okay, that's on. Okay,
And Love. No, not Love. Love and Basketball.
okay, all right.
Omar Epps.
I guess sometimes you ever seen something so much that you just honestly you don't really time into like your memory. You just like, oh yeah.
But yeah, he was in Love and Basketball. Him and Sanaa Lathan, Love and Basketball.
Who would you say like the top five like black actors of the 90s? Like I guess like, and I say it loosely because I'm not just saying necessarily just like the Denzels, more so like the dramas that they were doing, like the not like the hood movies. Because Morris Chestnut's up
You know,
there.
I say Morris Chestnut got to be one of them.
Let's say
But he
Tupac is
was in
up
a
there.
lot of them 90 movies. Him,
Oh yeah, they
Tup-
called him a lot. I know he was probably doing them films back to back.
just back to back. Him, Omar Epps was in a lot of 90s movies.
Mm-hmm.
Tupac when he was popping.
And you had a lot
Um,
of Will Smith, Martin
Will Smith,
Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence. Yeah, Martin Lawrence for sure.
I guess it's so many. I guess I'm trying to
Eddie
think of who's the
Murphy.
biggest because it's like all of them were really like prevalent, but
They
who?
wasn't no like biggest.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody had,
They
had
all
their
was
own
like
movie.
equal. They all
Yeah.
had their own wave.
I think Will, Martin,
Will
and
might have
Eddie.
been Will and Martin. He's got probably Will and Martin. I think
And
about it.
mostly because it's like if you think about it, they gave them
Cause then on
stints.
top of them, you know what I'm saying? Like on top of
Yeah.
them, in all the movies, they had their own sitcoms, and they was the sitcoms pop.
No, honestly, like so I know they were busy dudes.
Yeah, so they it's got to be Will and Martin.
Ain't that crazy? I just mentioned them too, and they ended up being in Bad Boys. All about the Benjamins. Was that early
That was
2000s?
probably might have been early 2000. That was what Ice Cube and
And
when that Mike
Mike Epps.
Epps.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell you this. That was one of the movies that like it really doesn't hold up like as far as like plot because it's just typical diamond heist movie. Like, oh, they took the girl, get the diamonds. We got to get her back. You got 24 hours.
yeah.
But it's funny though. I love how they heard or he told them, yeah, we got 72 hours, and they just went to just go eat chicken and shit like that. Like they just waited for their plan, their like crazy plan to get the diamonds back. They just gave them fake diamonds.
Hey,
Like,
Diamond. Speaking of like Ice Cube, what you think about Friday? Would that hold up?
ooh,
I'm talking about the first one. Not
we can do a start venture cut. How many Fridays is?
it's only 3.
We can do a start venture cut on it. That's how I feel.
Start venture cut.
I'll do start on hold upness, on replay value, if you will. Mm, you go.
Friday start. Put Friday after next on the bench. We cutting next Friday. I'm saying next Friday was trash.
And I'm on what you on. I know exactly why you say that because Friday, you said Friday starts, right?
Yeah, start Friday.
Friday OG, the plot, so on your first movie ever, you really don't have to like stick with like, originating plot. You can just do whatever. On your second movie, it's kind of might be a little more. People might expect you to stick to something more in your second movie. But on your first movie, you got free reign. So Friday, start. Bench,
So
Friday
Friday
after
after next, that's
next.
the third one.
Mainly because they had so much star power. But if I really went and dug back into the plot of it,
It was a Christmas movie
it
too.
was like we got to get our money by Christmas time again, or I got to get my money by the next week. It's like, dang, all this happened in 7 days.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It did though. Like,
7 day and Friday, all that was in one day.
but truthfully, if we're just going off in a vacuum, they did a pretty good job storytelling like a 7 day event. Like, so I'm not gonna like poke holes in it of like the plot could have been deeper because I mean he always called his daddy to come. He
And come
basically
to the
called his daddy
rescue.
to come fight for him.
But yeah,
And then it was so many like shit jokes that his dad made. It was just like, oh my god. It was like, I was like, yeah. Next Friday kind of relied a little too much on like some one-liners. It was cool. I don't know what it was cool, but it's just like I don't know, like the backgrounds are just very. It seems like you're kind of watching like a '90s like sitcom or something, or like a '90s
it
short
just
film.
wasn't nothing memorable about the
Yeah,
movie for real.
yeah. It's like they tried some stuff. It was cool. It was like even
It
when
was just kind of corny. Just
yeah,
it's like, oh, yeah,
and they went in Buddy house. They giving the dog a brownie. It's chocolate. Like that's a wrap. The dog was high, but it was like the dog
a
probably just
weed
got
brown.
up
It's
for real.
just kind of like you can. I ain't gonna say.
And then you in Buddy house with his sister, and he come in and she talking about what you doing. And it's just like what?
And then the characters, like Chico and Pinky and them.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Pinky
Pinky probably was the highlight of the movie.
Pinky gave that movie just by himself 2.5 stars out of 10. Like just by himself. Like I actually probably gave it another one, but like because if I give it out of 10, next Friday it's gonna be at like a 5.5 out of 10.
Five,
So
4 out of 10, whatever.
I can't, well actually I really can't. It wasn't that memorable. Friday after
It's
next
like they was just trying too hard to be funny. That's what it was.
at least Friday after next we had some fresher faces that just were they're just funny within themselves.
Yeah, they was
They're
just
just funny
yeah,
within
they just
themselves.
all funny.
Yeah, and it's
Like John Witherspoon, his brother,
oh
his
my
brother,
god.
the other dude,
Yeah.
can't remember his name, but
Who
he
was
played his brother. Like they had Cat Williams in the movie. Ricky Smiley was in the movie.
what are your thoughts on Ricky Smiley? Like
I don't really have no thought on Ricky Smiley. I mean,
cool.
he funny though, but
I feel like he's like
he
funny.
just was a comedian. I just never really followed like that.
Yeah. Well, it's like I would see him in movie or like arts, and I would just be like, "He's cool. It's cool."
Yeah, but I never really like watched Ricky Smiley for real.
But I guess comedy is like rappers. Everybody really has their own rapper they listen to,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not necessarily off like always ability. It's just like preference
Right.
because it's like depending on what you're like looking for. Because everybody's humor is different. Just like everybody's like
Taste in rap music
yeah.
different.
Because music as a whole is kind of like I'm kind of like separating it from rap. Like rap, like everybody has their own like specific type of, you know what I'm saying, like
They own
pocket.
style and
Yeah.
everything.
But just like with comedy, it's like everybody doesn't like the same comedian or everybody doesn't like the same
The
type
same
of
style
comedy.
of comedy.
But everybody's comedy is a little different. Now, granted, you got those people that can kind of cover like like general demographics and stuff like that. But usually what I notice with like very general jokes is like they're not that funny. It's like if you like like make a joke specific,
Specify
yeah.
specify your joke to a
But what
certain
I notice is like you sacrifice your joke, like of it getting a lot of people's attention,
mm-hmm.
of kind of like making it too niche real quick. Like sometimes you can make a joke that's so good, only two people in the room get it.
And that's kind of like Dave Chappelle with a lot of people too.
Oh yeah, but that's why
Like, you got he make you think.
it holds up. That's why
He got
everything he has holds up because if you didn't like it in the moment, oh well. But like looking back,
you have to listen to over and over to kind of get it. If you don't get it the first time.
and that's a respectable way to like produce your art because some people are very easy to like.
It's like Dave, he gonna teach you something, but he gonna do it in a joking way. You have to think about it.
True, give you like
So
breadcrumbs.
like he'll touch on social issues, but he'll kind of joke about it. But you got to think, and that's how to be funny.
Thought provoking.
Thought provoking jokes. That's Dave Chappelle.
Ooh, we can do top 10 black comedians. Oof. Or should we just?
Take I don't know no white ones. For real, outside of like Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know
Mm.
any. Like I don't know that many white stand-up comedians. I really couldn't think of any
I
white
couldn't think
stand-up.
them the only two I know because they was in a lot of '90s movies too.
Yeah. Let me think of. Damn, could I name 10 black? I feel like
I
I
can name
could.
10 black. I can probably.
I was gonna do of the '90s, but I don't think I'm.
We can.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, because it's plenty.
Okay. And then when we do that, we can just cascade into the sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 23. Okay. 6 minutes left. Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 All right. Okay. We did top. Yeah, Martin.
We was talking about
Cedric, Brian, Martin, Chris Rock.
we got it. Go ahead. I already know. '90s and 2000s. There's a lot of them in the '90s.
It is. What would you say is like your top 10 black comedians, like list of the '90s?
Of the '90s. So we got the rest in peace Bernie Mac, for sure. Martin Lawrence.
CeeLo Green. No, no,
He was a rapper, I would say, in the '90s. Shout out Goody Mob.
yeah. Oh yeah,
But
crazy.
I said Bernie Mac, Martin, Chris Rock, Chris Tucker, Said the Entertainer.
Hmm.
Uh, I would say Steve Harvey, even though he kind of debatable with a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's 6. Who am I missing? People give her a lot of flack with Monique up there. If you're looking at the ladies, Monique, Adele Givens,
Hmm.
Cheryl Underwood, and then number 10.
Mm.
Well, Dave Chappelle count? Because he started out in the like '90s, later
Yeah, yeah.
'90s.
Because he was in that Nutty Professor movie, that first one.
Because he like on the tail end of the
Hmm.
'90s in a sense.
Because most of them they were just like old enough to where like they were probably started in the '80s.
Oh no! I'm gonna switch him out with Eddie Griffin.
Oh
Eddie Griffin,
man, yeah. Shout out
very
to Eddie.
underrated.
Yeah.
But he is funny. Eddie Griffin.
You know that Eddie Griffin makes Undercover Brother is a type of movie that I don't really like. Okay, it's like the movie it's like more of a spoof movie in a sense
Yeah,
anyway. So it's like anything that they try and they miss at is kind of supposed to be like that. But he really kind of picks up on scenes where like I feel like if it was anybody else, I probably would have not watched it.
yeah, because he's just naturally funny. Like him doing TV shows is
Yeah.
not really. He even say that's not his
Yeah. Because what
thing
happens
because it's
is
corny.
he's the type of
They
dude
water him down.
exactly like
But if you watch his stand-ups, he
yeah.
is funny.
Yeah. He has to have his own creative
Yeah,
like
his own thing.
yeah, because yeah. And that's partly why I feel like, we haven't seen him as much because it's just
Yeah, because he kind of like the Cat Williams
yeah,
in a
because
sense.
like
Like
yeah.
he not really an industry person for real.
Hmm. And because more of the creative people don't tend to like, mesh well with people that want you to like do things their way, necessarily.
And like Malcolm and Eddie, that show. I don't know if you watched Malcolm and Eddie back in the day.
Yeah. Dang,
He
that's
even said like the
interesting.
stuff was corny,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like he's good at delivering jokes and
yeah.
stuff on his own. But like he was even saying like this stuff is
But
corny.
if you look at the writers of, it's crazy. Well, I'm gonna move on to well, I'll give you my list. A lot of the writers for those 90 black movies and 90 black sitcoms were not who you think.
Mm-mm.
And it's crazy. Even if you look at the credits and you look and it goes to your memory, you'll be like, it makes sense. It's like because certain things are consistent, but certain things aren't. Like it'll be like maybe the clothes are consistent,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe like say whatever Will Smith could control on set was consistent. But if the writing was whatever it is, he gotta act that.
You just gotta act it out
Like he
and
might
just
can put
hope
his
he
own
can
spin
deliver it.
on it and do certain things with his own spin, but in the solo, they wrote that, they gave him these clothes, they cut his hair, like, you know,
And he was just able to deliver every time.
exactly, especially working, in such a big company like that. Lower studios, they kind of let you, get more flexibility because, they're not really, as known, so they can't tell you what to do as much. Like Martin, I felt like he had a lot of creativity.
I feel like he wrote most of them lines
Yeah.
until they get into the later seasons. It started getting all
Mm-hmm.
corny and watered down.
Yep.
From
Yep.
early season, you can tell it was him.
Once it started hitting more of like that success, like maybe they probably even started writing more.
It started writing more. Like once it got real successful,
Hmm.
like you say.
And sometimes you're still going with Dave Chappelle with the Chappelle show. They don't want to go as far as like the network wants to go. Like the network might want you to do 9 seasons, but you might just be cool with like 3 or 4.
Yeah, and like once he get tired, and it's like then they take over, and you have to deliver them corny jokes and stuff.
And it's just a machine at that point. You show up for your check.
Yeah. Yep.
And hell, at that point, he was probably starting his first Bad Boys movie. So,
Yeah.
or
That's because I always say like once Martin started growing the facial hair on the show, that's when it started to get bad. And you watch the later season, he started getting the goatee and stuff in.
because that was movie Martin.
That was moving Martin, and it started getting
Yeah.
like the show started getting whacked by that point.
I think the good thing about the basis of sitcoms was, yes, you had a script, but a lot of times you had somebody that could improv and it was acceptable, and then they could take that and then put it into like an art of work. But then sitcoms became so scripted, and then the people that they were putting on sitcoms just couldn't do that for real.
And
Like,
that's what made the '90s sitcom so much
yeah,
better because a lot of this stuff was just improv.
because you had one guy in there, and even if everybody was just following the lines, that one guy with that one line can like help like bring the energy in the room. So it's like, because that's the thing about sitcoms too in the 90s. I feel like it was a little more energy versus
Energy and they're just natural.
the newer sitcoms. Like,
They just very script everything, just robotic and scripted. No kind
yeah,
of like personality.
yeah. And it was kind of like once they kind of hit that, sitcoms were kind of pretty much on the decline. Like sitcoms are pretty much done. I know once for me, one of the last sitcoms I watched was like Tyler Perry's like House of Pain.
And I didn't even like that show.
Truthfully, it just came on TV every day I got like home from school. So like,
And I'm like, this is
well, but
it ain't
it's almost like it felt scripted. Like it felt like y'all probably shot this over twice. Like her walking into the room and him getting up. Like,
right. Everything was just to
it,
the T.
at least on Fresh Prince, when like Will like comes off set or some shit like that, runs onto it's like, okay, it's
Yeah,
cool.
when Carlton was running off set and
Yeah,
stuff, running around, that was like unscripted. Like
yeah,
that was a lot of the thing with the '90s sitcom, all that unscripted stuff.
yeah. And it's
It
like,
made it funny, and you seeing the characters in the background trying not to laugh and stuff.
yeah.
Like you can like that was everything. Like you can tell they was having fun with it.
Once you got to 2000s, it was kind of like what's the next form of media we're gonna consume, which kind of brings me into like I wonder like what's your list of like the 90s, like top black 90s sitcoms?
Martin got to be up there. Martin, Fresh Prince, the Wayans Bros, In Living Color.
Is Jamie Foxx show 90s?
Jim, there.
I feel
I
like he
think it was
started in
like
90s.
tail end of the '90s.
Yeah, because that was the young Jamie on it out there in the beginning.
Yeah, that was like I'll put that one in there if it do count. I can't remember exactly when that one came out. But I think that was like tail end '90s. That A Different World was cool.
Ooh, A Different World was cool.
Um,
What spinoff did they do with that?
that was a Bill Cosby show spinoff.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Oh, yep, yep,
Because
yep.
what's her name was going to school, the oldest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Man, what else? What did I
You
say?
already said Steve Harvey show, Moesha Parker's.
Parkers was like 2000.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was a spinoff of Moesha. I didn't watch Moesha, but I know the Parkers was a spinoff of Moesha.
yeah. I didn't watch
I
Moesha.
didn't watch Moesha for real because that was show with Brandy, wasn't it?
Moesha was so sitcomish. Now, granted, the Parkers were sitcomish, but you had Monique on it, so you had that person that can kind of make a
Yeah,
scene a little
she
more
made the
vibrant.
scene and then she got a spinoff of it.
Yeah, like, but yeah, I remember Moesha was cool, but it was kind of like, yeah,
I didn't really care. It wasn't nothing memorable.
I
I didn't
feel like
really
what they
care for
did was she was just real hot at the moment, so it was just like,
to give her a show because she knew Kobe
yeah,
Bryant too.
yeah. Oh, word.
Yeah,
Damn.
they went to school together. I think
They went to
she
prom,
played
didn't they?
basketball. Yeah, I think they went to prom or something.
Yeah.
He hooped and she was like in the singing and acting.
Oh yeah, because I remember they had this video in them in that prom.
Yeah,
That
because
was
remember
low
Kobe
key.
was like hot, like 19. He got drafted in 96, straight out
Yeah,
of high school. He was like the hottest thing, and she was up and coming singing
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. Dang, shout out to them.
But I guess that would be a top 90s sitcom in general, but not mine because I
Yeah,
didn't really care for it or watch it.
yeah. It didn't have much like value. Like I remember Professor Ogilvy. I remember like Kim from like I remember all them from the Parkers. But when it comes to Moesha, it's just like
Yeah, I don't remember nobody.
I feel like it was kind of like they just lined some shit up and just kind of it went, but it
Yep.
worked because of the spinoff with the Parkers for real.
And then you got the one for the kids, Keenan and Kel,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically Drake and Josh before Drake and Josh.
Really,
That's
like
really what it was. That's what Drake and Josh came from, was Keenan and
to
Kel.
be honest, like once Keenan and Kel and Drake and Josh were pretty much done at the show, that concept could never be done again,
Mm-mm.
pretty much. Because it was like they tried again with Drake and Josh and it pretty much worked,
It
but
worked. I might like Drake and Josh was a
just doing it again,
top 2000 show.
what other way could you do it? Like, because like demographically, it's like you had two black dudes, you had two white dudes. What would you do like next that people really
Yeah,
want
it
to
wasn't gonna
see?
work. That's why
Yeah.
they did like the iCarlys and Victorious and all that.
Oh, that was an era of shows. I feel like they was just throwing shit at the wall then. You know how many shows that came out that we can't even remember that we really saw? That like when we might see like a snippet of it and be like, dang, I damn near saw the whole series.
Saw the whole show.
But if we look back, or we might watch an episode, like, dang, I really watched it. I could have been reading a book or something. Like, oh my gosh.
I'm saying, but then Family Matters whenever they put Steve Urkel on it. 'Cause I remember it
He's a real
was
scene stealer for sure.
I think because he was only supposed to appear for one episode, but
Mm-hmm.
then he caught on so big with everybody, they just kept putting him on, and he just stole the show. Because I ain't gonna lie, it was a time period where they was just showing the Family Matter was out, Steve Urkel on it. Shit was trash.
It
It's
is.
like I couldn't. It was just
It's just
boring.
like Full House.
They wasn't even. I'm like, I'd rather watch Full House before Family Matters.
Family Matters was
Family
hitting like,
Matters with no Urkel on it.
yeah.
Like this is whack.
Yeah, you're right. I would rather watch Full House. I would.
Like it was boring. I'm just like,
That
ain't
was
nothing funny
fun.
about this. I'm just like, what are we?
Sister was cool.
Sister, yeah, it was cool.
I feel like I feel like that was the epitome damn near of a 90s sitcom because it was cool. Everybody, it's like it was like rehearsed, of course, like as it's supposed to be, but like
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of tell like everybody had their own energy and it was cool. I guess it's just I never had a favorite person. I think
No, I
the
mean,
little nigga,
to my Taj Mowry, they little brother.
yeah,
I can't. What was his name on the show though? I can't remember his name.
damn. If you wouldn't ask me, like it was like
I can't
Byron or
remember.
some shit like
I
that,
don't even
but
think it was that.
yeah, it was something simple. Like it was like
But it was like your typical sitcom. They always had the gag, got to have a punchline or whatever,
yeah,
famous punch. Go home, Roger.
yeah. Oh
Like
yeah,
every
was that
sitcom. No, that was Marcus Houston
that was Mark? Yeah, yeah. Go
when he
home.
had the braids in.
Oh man.
Said them set it off braids. Go home, Roger. And then like everybody had the catchphrase. That's what I meant to say.
Oh my God.
A lot of them 90 cents phrase they had to have. You had to have a catchphrase in them 90 sitcoms.
Imagine doing a catchphrase and they yell cut. We got to do it over to fake applause.
It's like I don't think Martin or Fresh Prince had no catchphrase.
Nah, because they didn't need it.
They didn't
Like,
need it, but they did have gags though.
yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
like Fresh Prince, where they throw what's his name out,
yeah.
Jazz
Oh,
out.
yeah, I loved it.
Uncle Phil throw Jazz out the house.
That's peak editing. Cause it's like for the '90s, like like you just editing him throwing them out, and it's like
Throwing them out.
I just love it. You don't even have to give him 90 seconds. When you see him, it's like
Or like
he's
whenever
ready
they
to get
dap up
on.
and they
Yeah.
that
Oh
them
man, I
little
love it.
gags and stuff. You got to
Yeah.
have them. That's what make it. That's a good formula for a good sitcom.
And then, but like later on, they had kind of less of it because because usually, dang, when you make art, as you become more successful at it, and you got less time, it's like you can't put as much time into the quality of it usually. And
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of them, as you finish out a lot of sitcom, people kind of get more calls for other stuff, so they don't really care as much about like that sitcom as much. So now they just kind of showing up, rehearsing, and then that kind of ushered us into like more of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Cause like, Martin started with the sitcoms and other, live performances, but then once the movie, calls start coming, it's like, shit, those checks are a lot bigger.
Them ain't like the movie checks is a little
Yeah.
bigger.
Bad Boys and the Bad Boys 2 and then Big Mama's House are like,
Big Mama
like
say, what else? The movie with what was that movie name?
Blue Streak. No.
Not that one.
I know what you're talking about.
That he was playing this girl or something,
Mm.
being a player or something. He ended up getting damn near killed. Dang, it was a love movie.
He had so many. Oh.
Dang, what's the name of that movie?
Who else was in it?
I can't remember the name of the movie.
Mm. Dang, he was in a lot of movies.
Yeah, he was in a lot of movies in the 90s though. I think that was his prime.
That was a good time for him. That was a good time for
So that was
movies.
his decade, bro. The 90s was like Martin decade.
What do you think, Nutty Professor versus Big Mama's House? Which franchise you think, if one had to go, or which one are you keeping? I'm sorry, which one are you keeping? Big Mama's House.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't really watch Nutty Professor like that. And
Mm-hmm.
then that was just a bunch of fart. If you go back and watch the movie, all it was just fart jokes.
Hey, you know what's funny? That means that they were just in the writers' room, like, oh, this will be hilarious.
And just
This will
putting
be
in a bunch of,
hilarious.
right, just fart jokes and fat jokes.
Oh, they'll love this one. And they probably said, all right, send it to him. Or they probably didn't send it. They didn't send him the script. They sent him the offer for the movie. Like, you want to do it? He's like, how much?
But you gotta respect Adam the fact that he brought all them characters to life by himself.
Oh, that's talent.
That's talent.
That's talent. I mean, I didn't need them to pay me how many people you play. I didn't need them to pay me that
Like I
5 times.
can just pay all these people.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'd have been like, yeah, shout out.
Like he
That's real
played,
creativity. Like, you don't see people.
saying 'cause he played himself. He played the dad, the mom, the grandma,
The
and
It was more that like the uncle or like the
like Cletus or whatever.
yeah
I think Cletus
yeah.
wasn't Cletus the dad though, or was he just the uncle?
Well, one of them he was like an uncle. I don't think he was like a grandpa or a dad. He was like an uncle or like a cousin. Like the one with like he was kind of like balding.
Yeah,
He was
he
like
had the plaid shirt on.
yeah, or the most besides the twins.
Mm.
The that was in every movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
them twins.
Yeah, shout out them. I hope they doing all right.
For real, they hope
Yeah,
they lost some weight too.
yeah, no, shit.
Talking about every movie they and they just that's like they played the same role in every movie.
I hate to say it too because it's just like
They just play the fat dude that always eat everything.
when do you think it kicked in for them that they're just like, damn, I think they're casting us because we're fat as fuck. But you got people that'll be like, oh, in order to be successful, you need, but just like they're getting plenty of calls. Like
So
I
they
can
get
think of,
like they play the same character, just the fat lazy dude.
yeah,
They just eat everything.
like I think they were in a movie with Bow Wow or some shit that I think that they were like fresh, but they were just sitting like sitting there just
The cookout.
yeah, oh yeah,
It's one of them low budget movies. That was a good low budget movie.
that was a decent low budget.
That was a decent,
They didn't waste the money on like getting the talent. They probably
they
wasted.
just got just hella actors and actresses in the movie.
Yeah. They had a lot of people that did like were up and coming and stuff. Because when you start a movie, you're gonna pay most of the money on like the set and everything. You're gonna pay most of the money on like the talent you bring in and just say fuck.
Really, they just a little bit of money on the set and just bring in the talent, and we're gonna make it work with this little small set.
Because
That's really what they did.
Movie for like them just to be basically shooting on like that mansion.
Yeah, it's really
whatever.
what it was, just the mansion and then a
But they made it seem like
parents'
it was
house.
more than what it was, like because you had coming in that gate with all the family members coming in. Oh man,
Queen Latifah was a security guard.
oh man,
They had Ja Rule in the movie as the Hayden dude.
I'll definitely throw her in like my top, I guess 10.
Queen Latifah,
Yeah.
the actress in the 90s.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Like, she was in a lot of things in the 90s too.
And she
Hell,
did
they
really
had,
bad
they
though.
Living Single.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of her TV
What was
shows
that bald dude's name?
on Living Single. I don't know. I ain't really watched that show.
You had well, it was just like the dude with the twist,
You had the
darker dude
dude
with
with
the
the twist
twist,
with the
and
deep
then the
ass
light
voice,
skinned dude with the
light skinned dude with the bald
yeah,
head.
that dude voice deep as hell. What the hell was that?
I couldn't stand him though. He just get on my nerves.
I always felt like he
Like,
was
he was
full
just
of
too serious.
yeah.
It's like, bro, loosen up, man.
He's like a guy I can see on
Like the guy you finna go.
like being like a lawyer, like one of the lawyers that they meet and be like, "We're not doing this." Like,
Like, bro, come relax, man.
struggle foods, the things you like to see, the things you like to eat,
When you ain't got no food in the house,
but you need that nourishment. You
well,
gotta,
when you ain't got no full meal,
yeah, but you got a lot of spare
you
parts.
gotta, yeah, that's really what it is. Just all the spare parts in the house you just slap together
You got a lot of
and it'll
spare
fill
parts,
you up.
and your creativity kicks in.
Creativity kick in.
You know, and and you get to use it. You know, you got your ramen noodles. What would you say is like the tier list? Like, what would you say is like the bottom tier of struggle foods?
Bottom tier, like you eating syrup sandwiches. Uh,
Because top tier is low
let's
key
see.
peanut butter and jelly,
Top
low
tier
key.
peanut butter jelly. Top tier would be ramen noodles. Either the
Frozen
pack or the
dinners.
cup. Frozen dinner. Would that be a struggle meal though?
I guess
I
some
guess it kind of
of them
would be.
can. I get if we talking about the real cheap ones, those might be bottom tier actually because it's like they just freeze some bullshit and throw it in a container. No, that's the right there because you know you got the
Yeah.
levels to it. You got like the decent little frozen ones. You got ones that like they damn near come freezer burnt. And whatever it say on the package and you open it up, oh yeah, lies. They'll be like
Take us
chili
out.
mac.
Frozen dinners. That's a wide range of different foods
Mm-hmm.
though, because you can do stuff as simple as like pizza rolls, bagel bites, hot pocket,
True.
or you can go all the way, or you can do like the kid cuisine or the Hungry Man,
Them Hungry
them
Man's
kind of
different.
dinner.
Them kid cuisine, I throw them out the window.
That's like them trash. I ain't never eat them kid cuisine.
The brownie in it, never forget. Piss me off. You want to know why? Because kid cuisines, a lot of time you could heat up the whole tray,
Hmm.
but the dessert came in the tray, but you
So you
couldn't.
heating up the dessert too?
So I'm heating up the dessert, and you thinking, okay, whatever type of brownie this is gonna kind of like I guess melt or like whatever.
Mm.
No,
You just heated up the brownie.
and it like made it so like classic type film, and I'll never forget. And then like the mashed potatoes and like the mac and cheese that came on.
Oh my man, it don't matter what TV dinner you like that.
And you don't want to throw some of that
Man,
salt. And low key looking back, like the portion size, like you don't want to throw like a tablespoon of salt on that.
that was probably the worst thing in the frozen dinners. The mac and cheese, the mashed potatoes.
I'm
Because
like,
the mashed potatoes ain't never cook all the way.
no,
And then if you
no.
do cook them all the way, they'll be soupy because you throwing all the water out. And it's just like, oh my God.
Same thing with vegetables. The green beans are like
It
the
was always a part of it that would never cook all the way through.
and I'm good on it. I'm so good
Like
on
the
it.
meat will burn your mouth, but then you eat the sides, and sides will still be froze.
Just like soup. That's why I'm not a big soup guy. Hear me
Soup.
out, y'all. This is my hear me out of the week. I am not a big soup guy, but I don't know why. It's because I don't trust it. Like, cause some you ever had a soup that like most of it was like kind of like one texture and then the other was like another texture because some people just put other stuff in their soup. Like I really got to do an inventory of what you got in your
You just
soup.
got to be in the mood to eat soup.
Yeah.
Like, or like Campbell's chicken noodle wasn't bad.
Oh yeah.
That always hit on a sick day.
See, I know what I'm getting. I'm
Soup,
opening
you
up
open it up
my
the can, throw it in the microwave, or you throw it in the pot, boil it,
yeah, throwing it on stove top
stove
MFR
top,
with the might yeah.
some saltines and some goldfish in it.
Yeah. You ever did grilled cheese with the with chicken noodle soup?
Nah, I ain't never did that.
It's cool. I mean, I guess looking back, I guess it's just
I used to just eat the chicken noodles, just throw the saltines and the goldfish
mm,
in it. Just kind of balance out the soupiness of it.
ooh, because the crackers soak it
The
up, so
crackers
like
soak
kind of
it up
like
some, and it,
top it.
yeah.
Oh,
I
you really
mean,
be fucking
hey,
with that science on that food shit for
I'm
real.
trying to balance it. It ain't as watery.
Cause y'all still ain't put that ice in y'all cereal yet.
Y'all tripping, man. Put that ice in your milk.
They tripping. They falling. They can't get up. What?
I'm
So we're
saying, boy, they need life alert. Tuna, I'm man, throwing tuna out the window.
yeah. So yeah. Thank you.
Tuna, sardines, all that, man.
Respect.
We ain't messing with the canned fish.
Yeah. I ain't.
Like y'all tripping.
Hey, you know what? Like,
Nah.
go crazy. This struggle food.
And
Look,
this shit stink, man. You
yeah.
open this.
I don't know
Nah.
why it's in your cabinet anyway, but when you could just have like some other shit. But it's struggle food. So
Man, you can
hey,
have canned spam, Vienna sausages, man. Why would you go and get tuna and sardines?
those damn near can go
Why?
with them though. Spam and Vienna sausages. It's like
Nah, what's spam? Like you throw some spam on the grill, little George Foreman, put it on some bread. It hit, man. Some grilled spam, a fried spam sandwich. It's the same thing. It's the same concept as like a bologna.
I've heard
On
that
bologna on the grill, throw it on some bread.
because I heard it's just crisp on the edge. You don't really like. You can just
It's just salty,
sear it.
it's just extra salty though.
Oh
It's
really?
real salty. Spam is extremely salty, but it's good
I
though.
bet it lasts till 2040. That's probably they probably said if nothing else lasts,
Nothing else gonna last. That spam gonna last.
what would you say is like a S or a top tier struggle food?
Top tier struggle food. Got to be. You can do a lot with ramen noodles. That's top tier. Um, baked beans,
Mm-hmm.
baked beans and weenies, pork and beans,
Ramen noodle flavor, like what you thinking? Like what's top ramen noodle flavor though?
beef or chicken.
No shrimp. All right.
Nah, man, you eating shrimp? You need your head examined.
No, I was doing out there for the shrimpers and
Nah,
for
man,
the
don't worry
lime and
about
the
it.
chili.
If all else fails, man, you get the beef or the chicken.
Okay, okay.
Man, we can be in a whole pandemic, man. The shrimp flavor gonna be on the shelf, stock full of them. Ain't nobody eating shrimp ramen.
But them peanut butter jelly sandwiches closing out. I
PB and J can't go wrong with a PB and
what's
J.
the balance?
Oh no. Connect a sausage and bread.
Nah, that ain't a struggle meal. If you got
That
connected,
struggle meal.
you got a little.
We just eating sausage links or whatever
Oh yeah, yeah.
on
Because
some
that
bread. Throw
connects a
some
little.
mustard on it.
Yeah, I heard that go.
Here you go. What else? What would you say?
S tier, top tier struggle food.
Let's see, my S tier was ramen noodles though.
S tier.
Yo, S tier.
I might just say like a good sandwich, but is that a struggle food or is that just like a
Man, I guess it just depend on the type of sandwich you eat. I'm
if
saying,
I
'cause
don't have
if you ain't got no meat, oh, dang.
I would say a grilled cheese, just like a real good grilled cheese. That's a good struggle meal.
You can do a lot of different things with a grilled
You
cheese though.
can. That's why
No, shit wouldn't be a struggle. Would it be a struggle though?
I guess if that's all you have is the cheese and bread. Like
If you ain't got nothing else in
if
the
you don't
house,
have
just
any other
cheese and
protein,
bread, then
yeah,
yeah.
because that's a real struggle. Because you just carving it out at that point, low key.
You just putting, yeah. I guess that'd be a struggle meal.
Because truthfully, like I'll just start before I eat a lot of shit. Like
You can do it. Just bread in general is a good struggle because you can do a lot with bread.
bread is a good base. Like you can
Good
have
base, man. You
bread,
can just
orange,
shit.
sugar, and
Put 2 pieces of bread in the toast and throw some honey on it
yeah.
or like syrup on it.
Hey, one thing we gonna do, you gonna eat or you gonna starve.
Eat or starve or just go to sleep and wake up the next day.
And that's my message on it. I don't trust soup. Uh,
Soup.
what you got for us closing out?
Don't be out here eating struggle meals if you can afford not to.
If I
They
see
not
meal
healthy. They not the healthiest option, but
and you grilling
you can
spam,
never go wrong with a struggle meal though.
yeah, facts. You gotta do what you gotta
You
do.
gotta do what you gotta do. But if you can avoid struggle meals, by all means do so.
One of the ways being
Get your money up.
stay consistent.
Stay consistent, get your money up, and stop skipping leg day in the gym, fellas.
Yeah.
Y'all be out here looking like birds with muscles, man. Swole shoe bill stork looking ass dudes, man.
Album just dropped now. Go get that. Hear me out.
Hear me out. Volume 1.
251 251 X on TikTok. Twitch. Go get that Twitch. YouTube shorts dropping daily. Don't forget to drink water, recycle. It's been a pleasure. And remember, if it ain't right, get right.